If you've always wanted to come to Paris or Venice or London, but you've only got one day and you want to see all three, then just come to Macau. If you're curious about this very rapidly growing semi-autonomous region of China, then I've got about 6 or 7 hours here today in Macau, and I'm going to do everything I can in this video to explore as much of it as I can and show you what it's like in this slightly crazy city. I mean, it's like a movie set, look. So this is the Parisian here in Macau. The Eiffel Tower outside the front of the building here is 525 feet tall. You can go up it as well. There's a lift that goes up and down. Here in the hotel itself, this building is massive. There's a casino down here. There's lots of shops around here as well. There's also almost 3,000 hotel rooms in this building as well. There's also a huge theatre in here. I think it's got over 1,000 seats. There's things like fountains inside. I mean, this place has got pretty much everything you could want. And to be honest, it would probably take a day in itself just to have a look around this place alone. But if France is not your thing, then maybe instead you want to try another country. And now we're at the Venetian, obviously, as you can see. Now this casino resort has actually been here for a lot longer than the Parisian that we were just at. Parisian was built back in 2016. This one's been here since 2007. But it is equally massive and it's basically modelled on the same principle. There are shops inside. There's obviously a huge casino floor area which makes up the majority of the footprint of this place. 3,000 hotel rooms and a little canal system that goes around the resort too, which yes, does have gondolas. It's a bit early in the morning. They're not running just yet, but trust me, if you want to go for a gondola ride here whilst you're in China, you can absolutely do that here at the Venetian. Hello. If you are curious as to why there is a basketball hoop at the top of the tower there at the Venetian, it's because Macau's hosting the 2025 NBA China Games. It's not always there. Bye. See, this is the lobby area that we're in at the moment. This whole area here, I think this is all casino. Shopping area, big hotel, theatre, another theatre, convention centre. These places are massive. All right, but if Italy's not your thing, as someone who grew up in London, I can say this is not a historically accurate representation of a red phone box. There's no calling cards for escort services pinned into the directory here, and it smells clean, so. 96 metres tall, exactly the same height as the one in London. It's the same size and height. It's an exact replica, 1-to-1 scale. Here we are now at the Londoner. Now there's been a casino standing on this site for over 10 years now, but it was recently redeveloped in 2023 to this new facade, which I think is a bit of a hybrid between St Pancras Station, Houses of Parliament, but it's very accurate, I've got to say. It's quite odd actually wandering around here as someone who grew up in London, because it's very much like walking around in London. This though, compared to the Venetian and Paris, way bigger in terms of a hotel to stay in. This has almost, it's just shy of 6,000 hotel rooms inside this building here. Your Majesty, if it wasn't for the giveaway of all the Chinese New Year stuff, this is eerily like walking down a London street, albeit with a roof over the top of you. If you've always wanted the experience of riding in a London taxi without the downside of the London traffic, you can do that here too. It's not the real one, it's just a tribute to it, but it's very, very cool nonetheless. because I only have limited time here in Macau, obviously I'm not going to be able to see every single thing that I could potentially show you in this video. And one of the biggest parts of this city that I'm not going to be showing you is the complete sort of polar opposite to where I am now. So this is Taipei, this is the southern side of Macau. It's kind of the island where the airport is based, and this is where all the new developments are happening. This is where the new casinos are going up. So you can see the Parisian behind me. But this area is relatively new. Across the long bridge going to the north side into Macau City itself, that's where you get the old town, which is where the original Portuguese occupation of Macau basically created what is like a European city here in China. And it's a very interesting and very beautiful part of the city apparently to go and visit. But the transportation here is a little bit fiddly at the best of times. Taxis are sometimes hard to come by, and I was looking at the bus system, and there's not really an easy, quick way to get across to the old city and come back here again for my flight this afternoon. So I'm just going to focus on the new side of Macau, but don't get me wrong, this isn't an exhaustive. This is exactly what the city is like. Just know when you're watching this, I am cutting out a big chunk of Macau. Okay, next up is Studio City, another new one here. This is actually the complex where I'm staying. There's a W Hotel here, another huge casino, big indoor shopping area, and this kind of arcade games area inside as well. Studio City is obviously themed around Hollywood studios, but it's a bit of a mix as well of just all things American. So there's a bit of LA in here, there's a bit of New York in here. In terms of eating here in Macau, now if you've got specific dietaries, like I've got a plant-based diet, so for all my fellow vegans and vegetarians out there, it can be a little bit limiting. It's a fairly meat-heavy culture out here. But one option I did find, which is pretty good to try, is Din Tai Fung here in Studio City. I actually ate there last night. They've got lots of vegetarian dumplings, vegetarian buns. So if you're looking for something to eat, but you don't want to try the traditional kind of Western tourist food, then try Din Tai Fung here in Studio City. Money-wise here in Macau, don't make the mistake that I made when I came here, which is assuming that you can just use your international credit card for everything. You would expect to in a place like this, and a lot of places do accept credit cards, but I've actually found, especially with some of the food and beverage outlets and definitely with taxis, cash is king here, so you need to be carrying cash. Now Macau actually has its own currency, which is the Macanese pataka. This is 40 patakas. It's about almost a 1-to-1 exchange rate with the Hong Kong dollar. And the Hong Kong dollar is also pretty widely accepted here as well. So if you're traveling to Macau from Hong Kong and you've got Hong Kong dollars on you, you should be fine. But if you do pay in Hong Kong dollars here, you can quite often expect to get cash back in Macanese pataka. Don't do what I do, which is jump in a taxi at the airport, and when you get to your hotel, blindly offer a Visa card to the driver, who of course didn't speak any English. It's not England, so there's no expectation that he should, but he looked at me, he said no, and waited for me to solve the problem. So luckily I had some Hong Kong dollars on me. So even if you're just coming here for a day, at very least bring some Hong Kong dollars, because at some point on your travels here in Macau, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to need to use cash. This restaurant does have a vegetarian menu, but it did turn out that some of the dishes contain egg, which I don't eat. So I've ordered the one thing that didn't, which was a bowl of cabbage, stir-fried cabbage. As cabbage goes, it's very tasty, but in case you're interested, that bowl of cabbage and a can of Sprite cost me 149 Macanese pataka, which roughly converts to about 30 Australian dollars for a bowl of cabbage and a Sprite. Macau is not cheap. It's almost coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it's starting to get quite busy in that main casino strip. But the funny thing is, come 1 block away, which is where I am now, and there's absolutely nobody here. The mass concentration of people is obviously just up and down that main strip where the casinos are. But you can find a little bit of quiet space if you want it. Get away from the crowds for a second, which is exactly what I'm doing now. Just decompressing for a second. Taking a breath before going in for one more time.
into a room and you know she's uncommonly rare. Very unique.
So should you come and visit Macau then? Well, look, if you're in the area, like if you're in Hong Kong, for example, it's a relatively straightforward day trip, so why not come and see it for yourself? Equally, if you're in Singapore, you can fly with Singapore Airlines or Scoot here, and Scoot have got some pretty reasonable fares. And that's exactly what I did. I flew with Scoot using KrisFlyer miles, so I didn't actually pay for an airfare to get here. Would I pay to come to Macau again in the future? I think for me, because I'm not really into casinos and the nightlife, probably not. I know I said I've only really scratched the surface here and I've only seen a small part of Macau itself, but it's not high up on my list of places to return back to. But I'm very glad I did come here and discover it for myself. Wind's blowing in the wrong direction for that.